began life as a toe, but not just any toe. The toe of the Dalai Lama. And all was well until he learned to talk, and he talked and talked. During meditation he talked, until the Dalai Lama had him surgically removed, and yet raised him as his own, a toe but a talking child of a toe. And all was well until he gave that toe a name.
Something's happened. Somebody's going to help us what can't help ourselves.
Well, who is it, Mary?
Now, before I tell you, I want to remind you that I am not a drinking woman, and I ain't given to hearing things, and I ain't easy convinced. But last night, late, somebody talked to me at my stand. Somebody that you've all heard of. Somebody that you that have got your eyesight don't believe in because nobody's ever seen him.
Who was it, Mary?
The Shadoe.
Shadoe? Oh, he wouldn't bother trying to help folks like us, Mary.
Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong because he asked me to call all your folks together. He promised that he'd come here tonight and tell us how he can help us.
In today's thrill-packed episode, The Creative Process, brainstorming, masterminding, puzzle pieces, and how ideas and solutions are revealed in the process. Today, we begin with note-taking. Note-taking. The most successful people in the history of the world take notes. Napoleon Bonaparte, the greatest general ever, wrote everything down. He became the most powerful person in the world. Mozart, one of the greatest composers in history, wrote everything down. Leonardo da Vinci wrote everything down backwards. I do it because I'm not smart enough to remember most things. When it comes to writing, it's notes, research, highlight, copy, write it in your own words, memorize, and have fun. Brainstorming. The key to creativity is brainstorming. I do it for everything. It's been called masterminding. Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. Write everything down. Anything and everything down without editing. Now, this is for any project you're going to do. You don't edit. You don't criticize. This is not a good enough idea. You just go, here's my project. I have to do this. Here's my idea. Here's my inspiration. Here's my artwork. Here's my project, whatever the project is. There's a story of a guy who grew up in a little Kansas town, and his father was the barber. He was the barber for the town, and he raised his son and provided for his family, and all was well. His son went back east to school and got a good job and was working, and his dad continued. And then one day, a big chain came into town, and they had $7 haircuts. And everybody started going to the $7 haircut place. And Dad's business slowed down, and he was about to go bankrupt when his son came back to visit, and his son said, let's sit down and brainstorm. What's brainstorming? Well, it was taught by Napoleon Hill, and they call it masterminding. What we do is we'll write everything down. We just sit down and write everything that comes to mind without thinking about whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. We'll just write everything down. And at the end, we'll take a look at it. So they sat there for an hour or so, and they wrote every idea down. And most of the ideas, when they looked at it at the end, were terrible, except one. And they used that one idea, and everything worked out. His business grew, it doubled, and then it tripled. What was the idea? The idea was they put a sign in the window that said, "We fix $7 haircuts." It was that simple. You know the Robert Rodriguez 10-minute film school? The moment you think that you want to be a filmmaker, you're that. Make yourself a business card. He says, let's play. Creative people are born creative. You're lucky. Experience. Pick up a camera and make mistakes. Tell people your mistakes are art. Start with a screenplay. Start writing your way. How to write a script. Make a screenplay you can make with what you have around you. You visualize a movie. You close your eyes and stare at a blank screen, and you write down what you see. And whatever you do, keep your sense of humor. A sense of humor is the only sense that makes any sense, and the only sense that makes the other senses worthwhile. And you know what Steve Jobs said? Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. Connecting the dots. There's no wasted effort. You don't see the bigger picture. That keeps coming back. You don't see the bigger picture. What you work on today will play out in some manner in the future, and a future that you can't even yet see. You just have to stay busy. I interviewed 10 top novelists, great writers, with huge followings that had sold millions of copies. And every one of them told me about the process. And in every single book they wrote, they reached a place where they were certain it was over. They had written their last good work, that they would never write again. They had no more new ideas. They were crippled with doubt and fear, and they sat down anyway and wrote. They wrenched every word out of a doubting soul, certain that it was bullshit, and yet they kept going. And weeks later, looked back on what they wrote and thought, that's some of the best writing I've ever done. So it's relentless and uncompromising discipline that allows you to create a new future. Start with little things. You know the book, The Artist's Way. You just write 1 page a day, but you write 1 page every day. You write anything that comes to your mind, but you write the page. You might try meditation. Meditation is all about concentration. And the more you concentrate, the better you get at concentrating. Meditation is putting all of your attention on one thing. Like concentration, where you put all of your attention on learning a new program or a new math skill or a new language, you put all of your attention on the breath. So you sit upright in your chair and you close your eyes and you focus on your breath going in your nose and out your nose. You watch it go in and you watch it go out. You put all of your attention on that breath. And when your mind starts going, this might work for him. This doesn't work for me. I've got things to do. I forgot to do my clothes. I forgot to do my laundry. I've got things to do for tomorrow. I forgot to return that email. And that's a chit-chat of the mind. The mind is chit-chattering, and it will always do that. And you don't try and stop it. You just put all of your attention back on the breath. You can enhance that concentration by adding a spiritually charged word like Om. There are a lot of these words that have been passed down over thousands of years that are scientifically proven to take you within, to enhance your ability to concentrate. And the more you focus, the better you get at focusing. Not only do you get the experience of going within and behind the mind and quieting the emotions, you get the experience of enhanced concentration, which makes you better at learning a new language or solving problems in life, overcoming emotional problems. And you don't have to do a lot at the beginning. It's just a little bit of discipline, but doing it every day. So let's say you just did 5 or 10 minutes. That's all. You just focus for 5 to 10 minutes. And it's incremental. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the deeper you go. And the deeper you go, the more creative you become, because creativity comes from some mysterious unknown. And the mysterious unknown reveals itself to you when you quiet the mind. So, just as preparation quiets the mind and allows for spontaneity, meditation quiets the mind and allows for creative solutions. And solutions are revealed through the disciplines that you make a part of your life. So just a little discipline leads to relentless and uncompromising discipline, which leads to great accomplishments, which leads to a happier life. Well, you see, now we've solved everything.